All right, let's talk about the team that won this trade, like completely unequivocally won this trade. The Los Angeles Lakers now have Luka Dončić. I mean, my only concern in terms of the basketball fit is that like Luka and LeBron is just kind of awkward to start, but I think they'll figure it out eventually. I just think the Lakers are going to take a huge step backwards. I already thought they were playing way above their heads. Like you look at the metrics and I'm like, this team has a negative point differential. They shouldn't even have a winning record right now. And they were just like they were winning a bunch of close games and whatever, getting like schmacked and some others. Although they did have an impressive win over the Celtics and the Knicks last week. Pretty convincing wins. I believe AD played in the game against the Celtics and did not against the Knicks because of the abdominal strain. But anyway, they don't have a center now. They're going to be worse defensively somehow than they already were.
Because you have Austin Reeves, Luka, and LeBron. So
yeah. So I just think they're going to take a step back, and I'm like, I don't even know if they're going to make the playoffs. They might make a move at this deadline to get like Nick Claxton. Some people have put out DeAndre Ayton in the ether, who isn't like, we have our thoughts about Ayton, but Luka with a lob threat. He doesn't roll that hard, but he has a lob threat. He rebounds really well when he's engaged. He just played the Suns yesterday, and that was like maybe more a commentary on the Suns that they allowed DeAndre Ayton to grab 20 rebounds. But I think he's been playing a lot better for Portland of late, and it's one of the reasons that they've like won. When I checked last night, it was 8 of their last 10 games now. The Portland Trailblazers, they are in danger of ruining their tank, so they might want to get rid of him. A lot of people have thrown out like Miles Turner. I have no idea why Indiana would do that unless they thought that they were not going to be able to extend him this summer. But I don't know why they wouldn't just continue that relationship. He's been good for them. They need a center, like point blank period. I think that they're going to do something because they want to get a lob threat for Luka as soon as possible. Like this is a really important time for the Lakers because of all the reasons we said. They need to convince Luka to want to stay. And preferably for them, they'd get him to extend this upcoming summer and not wait until potentially when he could go into free agency the following year, just to give them that security. So they're going to be trying their darndest to, surround him with a competent team. But even still, I just don't think it's going to be that good around them. And the Lakers are probably going to regress to where they should have been, which is low play-in status at best.
I think Pelinka said something in the press conference too about how like he thinks even making another trade for a center at the deadline is not likely or something, which
he did say that at the press conference. He was just kind of like, I don't have a magic wand. I can't make these opportunities appear. So I'm like, maybe Claxton is just not available for the draft capital they have. Like I would even before this, I dragged Nico for letting the Lakers have any assets left at all. But it's not like they have a lot left. They have like some things that they could do on the margins, but one pick maybe isn't going to do it for a Claxton. Maybe it does for an Ayton who has a contract that I think Portland would probably like to get off of because they have so many front court players on that team.
Yeah.
Maybe they take a swing on a Robert Williams.
Yeah, that's a name out there for sure.
Yeah.
But they also have Rui to trade. Like I, before this trade, thought he's someone who the Lakers need to trade for sure, just because I don't think Rui can be an offensive player sometimes. I don't really love his defense, and they need more defense, and they need a big, and that's not Rui. And LeBron's not going to play the 5. He's too old. It's going to beat up his body, even though like sometimes
LeBron. Jackson Hayes.
Yeah, who's really not good enough. So
yeah,
I don't know. Like if they don't make a trade, they're definitely not winning anything this season. And even if they did make a trade, they're probably also not winning anything this season. Because I do think Luka and LeBron are weirdly redundant. They're a very similar archetype of player, but it's going to be exciting to watch. I mean, obviously Nuggets fans hate the Lakers, so they're not going to care about that. But it's going to be interesting. As soon as I heard the trade from the Lakers perspective, which makes complete sense because you now have a franchise player.
This is a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Lakers,
it's a great decision by them. I don't blame them at all. Like everyone would do this unless it was like Jokic or Giannis or there's only a handful of players you don't trade for Luka. But this is a future move. I've said that it felt like kind of a rebuild move. It's a quintessential like franchise-altering move. And it kind of seemed to me, at least, to say like, you know what, LeBron, I don't know what this means for this season, but like we don't really care. We got to set ourselves up for the future. And I thought LeBron would ask out. That's what I advocated for, but
No.
he never does. He always wants to play in LA. And I even questioned when he first went to the Lakers if he really cared about winning a championship or if he just wanted to go live in LA and live that life and be on the big Lakers type of franchise that he loves. Like he loves historic franchises like the Cowboys and the Yankees and such, which he's seen supporting throughout his life. But
he's a Yankees guy? I didn't know that.
well, he's been pictured wearing Yankees hats and stuff. He just like loves those types of franchises, and that's why I think he went to the Lakers.
Why didn't he ask for that trade to the Knicks last year? Like they
I know
ended
he
up
should
trading
have.
Julius Randle anyway.
I was saying he should have, but whatever. He seems like set on like proving everyone wrong that he's like committed to the Lakers no matter what. I feel like in a way where
I feel like he's just 40 years old and wants to stay in the place where his family's been for the last 5 years. Like the
I
older
know.
you get,
Yeah,
the
I
less you
think
want to move. And
I agree, but
he's almost done. Will, like you don't understand. The only reason he's still in the league right now is because expansion bids haven't started yet. Current players cannot bid on or be parts of
right.
ownership bids for new franchises.
Well, and
he's
Bronny,
going to retire as soon as that process is announced because he's like,
he's
peace
got to
out,
get in.
I'm gonna start my Vegas franchise. He's just waiting for that.
I just think as a LeBron fan, you hope that he's still wanting to compete for championships. And I think he has that somewhat in his mind, but like some of the decisions
he's like,
that
it would be nice.
Yeah, it would be nice.
It's not his number one priority.
If you're staying on LA Lakers, I just don't think it can't be your priority, at least, especially right now with this trade.
And with his son that just started playing there this year.
Yeah.
Like he's just there to play with Bronny and like chill.
This is like kind of an aside, but what a weird time for JJ Redick. Like you sign up for your first season and you have to play
coaching
Bronny.
LeBron James and Anthony Davis, but you're also like, oh, here's LeBron's son.
And now Luka's coming in, which I know he has a good relationship with Luka. He's probably excited about that. It makes his job easier in some sense. It's like the pressure's off in a lot of ways because it's just like, hey, we kind of interrupted this season, but we got Luka, so it's all good. Like you're not really going to upset anyone.
JJ's probably like, oh, thank God, the pressure's off. Like, he probably knows that they've been playing above their heads for the last however long, and is like, he's like waiting for the other shoe to drop with the regression in terms of record. And that's
what's also beautiful about this from the Lakers' perspective is, despite their record, which I think, you pointed out smartly that maybe wasn't reflective how they were really playing, because I think they were really struggling. And there was a lot of chatter about really needing to make a trade, make some upgrades. Otherwise, this roster is not going anywhere. And if you don't believe in this roster, it's time to blow it up. Maybe trade AD. That idea was already out there. So it wasn't necessarily shocking for Lakers fans, even though they respect AD. They have their quibbles about
I mean, Lakers fans are just like, we have freaking Luka Dončić.
Yeah, they don't,
so like nothing else matters.
Yeah.
We're set up for the next 10 years with one of the best players in the NBA, who's going to be one of the best players in the NBA for the next 10 years. Obviously, Anthony Davis is one of the best players in the NBA. He's not going to be one of the best players in the NBA for the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also, Luka's better than even AD. So, like,
this was something that arguably needed to happen, even if you weren't getting Luka as the return. But because Luka's a return, it makes it easy to pull the trigger. So you're kind of forced into making a tough decision that you probably should have made anyway. But it's the perfect thing for them. So,
well, the thing is, if these were the conversations that I was, seeing and hearing, say, even last year, where it's like, well, AD is like young enough that he could be like part of the steward of the post LeBron era, but we need to find a co-star for him. So then it's like, is it going to be Trae Young? Are we going to be able to get Donovan Mitchell? Like whatever. None of those guys become available. I don't know why Trae Young is still not available to anyone, because I don't know what the hell the Hawks are doing, but not tanking. They should have traded him to the Spurs because they could have gotten their picks back and then started tanking. But then you're like, but he's going to be 32. He's like young enough, but like not young enough at the same time. So I can understand being in that in-between place until you get the opportunity to say hell yes to 25-year-old Luka Dončić, who just turned 25 in October, by the way. Like,
it's hard to imagine Luka even improving. And I guess on some level, if he doesn't take his conditioning a little more seriously, even though I'm not like totally bought into that criticism of him, because I think he's still amazing even without that. But you just in the NBA, you play really well. Like your best years are like 27 and beyond, and you make that last as long as you can. And he's not even reached that point yet, which is really scary to think about. And I do think like he's going to win MVPs probably. Although if the Lakers get like a crazy super team, maybe he'll be penalized for having amazing teammates. But he's just like a player that can win MVPs. And I think they'll probably win championships. And I don't think the Mavs are going to win a lot of championships. So from that perspective, I'm just like, it's just insane to me. And it's weird to see Luka on a team, at least for this season, kind of not in that mindset of still going for a championship. They might say that, but I don't think it's necessarily realistic. And then the Mavs,
in the Lakers.
Well, the Lakers, you know, they're going to be like, you know, we always compete for championships every year. That's the culture. But it's like, you just made this trade. Like, come on, you're not like set up. You don't have this like team built around Luka right now. Okay, so you don't even have a center, and you just admitted that you're not even going to trade for one. Which I don't know if that's a Rob Pelinka partnership tactic. He's psyching someone out. He's such a genius, but I doubt that. So it's weird seeing Luka, who's a player, MVP player, who should go for a championship every year on a team that's not really set up to do that. And then the Mavs get rid of that player and they're going for a championship, but it feels like their team's not set up to do that either. It's like, it's very weird, but.
Yeah, Nico Harrison's a weirdo. Okay. Please, if you like our content, remember to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share us with your friends, your enemies, your family, their enemies, their friends, their barbers, their dog walkers. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at What's in a Game NBA. We have all our social links in the description. And always remember that winning is fun and losing sucks, especially losing a trade to Rob Pelinka and the Los Angeles Lakers.
I know. It's Pelinka. Ugh. Don't get me started. We're done.
We're done.